So hello everyone, in this video we'll be learning about DOM styling in JavaScript. So let's start the lesson. So you can also apply style on HTML elements to change the visual presentation of HTML documents dynamically using JavaScript. Actually, we have already done this in the last or the previous videos. We change the style, we change the background color, we change the text color. So these kind of styling which we allow from CSS that we can also change with the help of JavaScript. So you can set almost all the styles for the elements like fonts, colors, margins, borders, background images, text alignments, width and height, position and so on. Setting inline styles on elements. Inline styles are applied directly to the specific element using the style attribute. In JavaScript, the style property is used to get or set the inline style of an element. The following example, let's see the example. Let's say we have this ID intro and we are getting that element and storing that into an element variable by using this document.get element by ID. So we know this method that it grabs element by the ID. We specified the ID as intro and now we are styling this element, or we are applying inline styles to this element. We are applying color or a single text color, font size and font weight. You have to remember that whenever the property name is more than one word, you have to use the capital or like the first letter after the first word. The second word's first capital should be there, or the first letter should be capital. Basically, it should be in camel casing. So you have to remember that. So font size, you can see that S is in capital letter. So you have to remember that. Now we can set the value, any value we can specify here, which should represent the color in this case, and which should represent the font size in this case. Similarly, font weight value you can specify by applying it equal, like specifying equal here. Many CSS properties such as font size, background images, you can see the dash, text decoration contain hyphens in their names. Since in JavaScript hyphen is a reserved operator and it is interpreted as a minus sign, so it is not possible to write an expression like lm.style.font size. So we cannot write this like font dash size. We cannot write like this. If the property name contains a hyphen, we cannot write like this. Therefore, in JavaScript, the CSS property names that contain one or more hyphens are converted to intercapitalized style word. It is done by removing the hyphens and capitalizing the letter immediately following each hyphen. Thus, the CSS property font size becomes the DOM property font size. So basically, you can see the S is capital now. Similarly, if you want to specify border left style, so you will specify like this, border left style and so on. I hope you got something in this. Similarly, you get the styles applied on the HTML elements using the style property. The following example, let's see the example. Now you can see we can also get the style information by the style property. If you don't allow or if you don't assign any new styling, we can just console log or alert that out. So you can see in this case it is getting if what is the color of the text. So you can see color is red, font size is 20 pixel, so it will give you a color if you add this lm.style.color. So it will give you the value of that color property. Similarly, it will give you the font size value and font style value. In this case, font style is not a property applied on this element, so it will give you nothing. The style property isn't very useful when it comes to getting style information from the elements because it only returns the style rules set in the element's style attribute, not those that come from elsewhere, such as style rules in the embedded style sheets or external style sheets. So basically, you can get the style information which is applied like this, or which is applied in inline styling or applied in this style attribute. If you have that, then only you can get the information of that style. If let's say this color red is not applied like this, but instead it is applied like an internal CSS or an external CSS, at that time you'll not get any information about the color. So that's why we cannot always use this kind of approach to get the information of the style. We have different approach for that. So basically we use this window.getComputedStyle method. Let's see that. Now you can see we have this internal CSS, and in internal CSS we have applied style to this hash intro ID, which is this paragraph, and we have applied font weight and font style as italic. And we have some inline styling, color red and font size 20 pixel to this element. Now we are getting this element and storing that into a variable called lm by using get element by id and specifying the id here. Now for getting the style information and storing that into a variable called styles, we are using window dot get computed style method, and inside window dot get computed style method we are specifying the element here which we grabbed from this intro. So now this window dot get computed style and the element we is provided to it will give you all the style information, whether it be the information of color, uh, font size, font weight, font style, everything you will be getting that. Now for getting the information in and logging this out, you can use this styles dot get property value. This get property value method should be applied on the styles we received from this window dot get computed style method. So you have to use this method on this object we received from this window dot get computed style method. Now we can specify the property name which we want to grab. For let's say we want to grab the color, then it will give you the color whatever it is applied in the actual styling. So whatever the browser has applied, whether it be from the internal CSS or inline CSS, it doesn't matter. We can also get the font size. You can see that 20 pixel, font weight which was from internal CSS, and font style by using this get property value. So basically you can get any kind of properties value by using get property value on the object we received from this window dot get computed style method. So this is the way we can get the style information from elements. So basically it is the modern approach and the most useful approach you can use in getting the styles. Adding CSS classes to elements, you can also get or set CSS classes to the HTML elements using the class name property. Since class is a reserved keyword in JavaScript, so JavaScript uses the class name property to refer the value of the HTML class attribute. So let's see the example. Basically, we can apply this CSS class if you want larger stylings to be applied on an element. So let's say we have this info element which is having this info ID, and we are storing that inside this lm object. Now we are applying this class lm.class name, and we are specifying the class name that we want to apply. So basically we are adding this node class. So node class will be applied to this element which is this info div. Now we can also add one more class. So basically this will add or replace all classes with node class. So it will remove the previous class disabled and apply a new class this one node. But if we add this plus equal here, so basically it will append this new class to this previous class. So this highlight will be added after this node class. So this is like this if you specify plus equal here. So if you want to append a new class, then you will be using plus equal. If you want to replace with a new class, you can use this equal symbol. There is even better way to work with CSS classes. You can use the class list property to set or get or remove CSS classes easily from an element. This property is supported in all major browsers except Internet Explorer prior to version 10. So before version 10, we cannot use it in Internet Explorer. Let's see the example what we are talking about. So you can see this is another way of adding this class or adding any class. Let's say if you want to add a hide class on this element which is this div, so you'll be using this class list property here, and after that we have this method called add, and we can specify any class we want to add to this element. Similarly, we can remove any class, or we can specify multiple classes here if you want to add multiple classes to that element. So it will add node as well as this highlight class. Also, you can remove any class you want. So let's say I want to remove this hide class, so I'll be using this remove method on this class list property, and then I can specify the class that I want to remove. Similarly, I can remove multiple classes, disabled or not, anything, by using this remove method. We also have this toggle method that allows us to toggle between the classes. So if there is a class applied, so it will remove that class, or if there is no class visible, so it will apply that class. So if class exists, it will remove that. If class doesn't exist, so it will apply that. So basically it works like that. Then we can also check if some class is there or not, or if some class exists on that element or not, by using this contains method, just like we have add, remove and toggle method on this class list property. We also have this contains method, which gives the value in true or false if that class exists on that element. So if we have this highlight class on this element, so it will give you the true result, otherwise it will give you the false result, or it will execute this if condition. So this is the end of the slide. I hope you got something. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in the another one.